So hello everyone, this is the first of a series of videos that I'm going to be delivering over the course that are related to some basic elements that you must really know how to use in VENSIM that may seem a bit complicated at the beginning, but when you get the logic behind that, they are fairly easy to understand. So first let's go to the exercise 2.1 that we have on Ford's book. Okay, so we have this section that most of you should be right now with your assignments. And so here they're speaking about nonlinear relationships, and they're asking us to develop this model here, the one that you see here. So the first thing that we're going to do is to sketch that model in the VENSIM version. So the version that you see here is the Stella version. So we have to first, as always, start with the sketch. So let's sketch it first. So first we have a level, that is the bank balance. So level, bank balance. Okay, next one we have a flow, that is the interest added. Okay, so remember this flow looks like a valve in Stella. In VENSIM looks like a bow tie. So you just click here, not dragging, just click and click where it goes to. Bank balance. Oh, sorry. So it was interest added. Sorry, interest added. Excellent. So next one we have this variable here, that is interest rate. So here comes the interesting part. So interest rate, this is a variable or an auxiliary or converter if you are speaking Stella language. So in Stella, as you can see, they have a little circle. In VENSIM they're just words. Okay, so just don't get confused on that side. So now let's go to the arrows. So bank balance goes to interest and interest goes to the flow. So if you want to make a neat diagram, you can do this. So you choose the arrow, click from where it comes from, then instead of going straight to the variable that you want to connect to, you click in the middle and then click here. So you'll have like this more rounded arrow. So we do the same here again. And the other one would be from bank balance to interest added. So bank balance to interest added. Something important, doesn't matter if you click on top of the text or the bow tie, it's the same. You're actually connecting to the flow. Okay, so we already have the sketch. So now let's go to the actual numbers. So the first thing was that the bank balance was, here what you can see, was 500. Okay, so let's start with 500. So let's start putting some equations in. So we go to the equation button, and you see all of this is highlighted, meaning that none of them have numbers yet. So let's start with bank balance. So we said it was 500. So remember, pretty much never you're gonna touch this part. This is already set. So you're gonna go here down to initial value, and you set your initial value. Okay, so in this case was 500, and units is money, dollars. Okay, so good. Next thing, the interest. That's pretty much the only thing that we know right now, right? The interest added is gonna be just the multiplication of the bank balance times the interest rate that you have in that moment. So you already have here on this lower right, you already have a list of the variables available to you to work with. So it's just, you just click on the first one, multiply by the second one. So there you go, it's all set. So in this case, since it is a rate, so it's gonna be dollars per unit of time. In this case, I think we are working with months. And actually, I think I should have put years. So let's change, it was years. So Let's change this to years. Let's save it just like as assignment 2. So you change the settings to years. Okay, so let's go down. Here we go. So, okay, so now everything is in years. Let's change the unit to years. Excellent. Okay, so now we just have this little thing here, the interest rate. That the exercise is telling us that it's not going to be something constant, but it's going to be changing depending on the amount of money that you have in your bank balance. So they give you this graph here that is telling you, like, when you have $0, the interest rate is going to be 4%. When you have 1,000, will stay as 4%. 2,000 will go up to 5%, 3,000 5%, 4,000 6%, and 5,000 6%. So you need to do this relationship. You need to find something to convert that interest rate based on the money that you have in the bank. So how do we do that? So we use what Stella calls graphical functions, as you see here, this graphical functions, and what VENSIM calls lookups. So those are pretty much just tables that will give you an equivalency. Will tell you if this comes in, this will come out. Pretty much it's just that. So Stella, when you set up a graphical function, will change the icon of your variable and will put this little tilde inside of the circle. In VENSIM, you don't see any actual change on the icon, but you can see it when you open the equation window. So let's open the equation windows here, and as you can see, nothing is happening. It's the normal auxiliary variable equation window. But if you go up here to, it's telling you it's an auxiliary subtype normal. So if you click here on normal, it will give you different types of subtypes, of auxiliary variables. We are going to be referring today to this one with lookup. Okay, so with lookup, we'll translate that conversion table that we were discussing before. So here we'll give you two text boxes. The upper one is asking you what is it receiving as an information, what's the input here. So the input is the only variable that we have here is bank balance. So the input is bank balance, and the output, how is that going to be converted into a specific interest rate, will go here. But instead of typing it, what you do is that you go up here to Ask Graph, you click on Ask Graph, and you'll get this new window. So this new window, if you see, is giving you an input and an output. So it's just pairing input with output. So what I give you, what you give me back. Okay, what I give you, what you give me back. So the fourth text, again, is telling you with $0, I give you $0, you give me back 4%. So with $0 as an input, I'll give you 4%. Sorry. Next, 1,000, 4%. Okay, 4%. Sorry. Now, after that was 2,000, and that is 5%. Then we have 3,000, that is 5%. Then 4,000 with 6%. 5,000 with 6%. And that was it. Okay. So if you see this little blue line here showed up, but it's not showing anything, and that is because just is the range of the graph that you are looking here. So if we change the graph, this is not going to change anything, just what you are looking at. So just going to improve the way you look at the graph. So if we go to a proper range, let's say 0.1, so it goes from 0 to 0.1, you can see now the relationship that is pretty much this same relationship. Okay, so we already have this here. So okay, and it's already here. So let's run it. And if we use the graph, here we have the new bank balance related to the variable interest rate. Now, here it's asking you then to make a graph that has two variables, not just one. And so far we have making graphs with just one variable at a time. So how do you make a graph, a more advanced graph, not just the default that VENSIM gives you? So the new element that we're going to be looking here is the control panel. So control panel gives you a lot of different options to personalize and improve your models. So it has a tab called graphs. Okay, so if we click on graphs, I'm going to just make it a bit bigger. Yeah, okay. So here in graphs, we have here just a blank list because we don't have any custom graphs right now. But let's start with a new one. So we click on new and we'll get this window. So this window looks a bit overwhelming, but it's fairly easy. It's just telling you the name, how are you going to be calling the graph, the title, what's going to be the title that appears in the graph, what's going to be the x-axis. So if you leave this blank, of course it's going to be time, but you can actually play around and you can put some other variables and see how they relate to each other. So we leave it blank because it's going to be the time. So I get this x-min, x-max, pretty much from where to where. What else? Some comments. And then this list down here, you can here input up to 6 different variables at the same time playing as a dependent variable, as the y-axis, okay? So in this case, let me see, so we have to plot both bank balance and interest rate over time, 80 years. So first time, we'll leave it blank because it's time. We'll start on 0. You could leave it blank and it will just interpret it as 0. We use an 80 as max time. And then we come back here. If you know the name of your variable, you can just type it, like for example, bank balance. If you don't remember the name of your variable, you can click here on cell, which is select, and we'll give you a list with all of your variables. So in this case was interest rate. So we already have these two. So we click here on test as output, so you can see how it's going to look before actually accepting. So we test the output, and as you can see, it's the same graph. Okay. Oh, sorry. So it's the same graph. Okay. Looks a bit different because the other one is Stella. This is VENSIM, but it's pretty much giving you the same output. So yep. So now let's call this balance and interest. That's the name of my graph. So if you see now that I click OK, I have this balance and interest graph here listed on my graph tab. So if I close and then I go to IO object, so input output object is what it stands for. So if we go to IO object and we click on a blank space, you get this window that we already worked a little bit with it, but we were working with this second one, with the output workbench tool, that it's the default graph that VENSIM gives you. But if you go to the third one, the output custom graph, then you'll be able to access your custom graphs. So you click on this one, then you click on this menu, and you'll get here a list of all your graphs. Right now I just have one, you can have like hundreds. So we click on this one, we move it to a nice place, and let's run it. Yeah, I want to overwrite it, so there we go. So now we have both the bank balance and the interest rate, how the interest rate changes with the bank balance. And yeah, pretty much I think that is what the exercise was asking you to. So now here tells you something about the graph pad, okay, in Stella, and says Stella allows you to store many graphs on the same graph pad. So Stella is a bit weird because it works like pages, like different pages. Here is like a giant page, right? So you can just put graphs everywhere. You can put thousands of graphs on one same blank page, which is a bit different in Stella and a bit more cumbersome. So this pretty much you don't have to do anything here. And yeah, pretty much is here. And here is actually explaining you exactly that, how VENSIM works with lookups. Okay, so the only difference is that here they're explaining you how to use the lookup, not the with lookup. So this is pretty much that's the idea of this video, that I want you to know that there are two different things. One is the with lookup, the one that we use now, that the lookup is embedded in the variable, and there's another one. I'm gonna show it to you. So that is, instead of with lookup auxiliary, is lookup. So it's this one. Okay, so this one works different. You can go over the book, and it will tell you how to work with it. Although I really prefer to use the with lookup. It's more flexible, gives you a bit more flexibility on how to use it. So yeah, I think pretty much we're good to go. And please, as always, if you have any questions, suggestion, if you need me to go into more detail, just shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to reply as soon as possible. Okay, again, remember my office hours are via Skype, so we should just agree on a time that fits for the both of us, and I'll be happy to be there. Okay, so thanks for watching, and bye for now.